All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott from Jeff Teaches Programming. And in the last video that we had, I had a couple errors, and I'd like to show you where they were. First of all, when I changed the name, there was nothing wrong. I could call it Person Abstract. That's fine. I can call it whatever I want. But when I changed the name, all right, from Person whatever I had to Person Abstract, it asked me if I wanted to change every occurrence of it, and I said yes. So not only did it change all those, but it changed the ones in the actual person class as well, and that's why I was getting a clash that it was in there more than once. All right, so that was one of the errors. That was why I was getting the error where you see the cursor right now, or where it's in blue. And the reason I was getting the other errors in here was in the person class, I said BMI, all the letters, all of them started with a capital letter, and BMI was all caps. BMI status had a capital BMI and a capital S. But when I did those in the I person, there were some discrepancies. They weren't, the height and the weight were not in capital letters. So that's what was wrong with those. Okay, so hopefully we can keep going onward and upward now. Now the other thing I want to do, so right now I've got person, I've got person abstract, and I want a base class for my person. I do have this one right here, but what you're going to find is it's not going to be exactly the same here. So where I call the abstract class person abstract, I'm going to create a new class here, and I'm going to call it person concrete. Why concrete? Concrete classes are classes that can be instantiated. All right, so this is a class that will be able to be instantiated, i.e. it is a concrete class. All right. So this person class is going to inherit from, or be inherit, from person abstract. And you'll notice now I got no errors. All right, and basically all we're going to have in here is going to be a constructor. Okay, so public person, it'll take a string for the first name, a string for the last name. You've seen this before, an int for the height, an int for the width, a double for the BMI, and a string for the BMI status. All right. Now we're getting errors right now. Don't worry about it. It's not done yet. So first name equal first name. Last name equal last name. Height equal, height equal height. Weight equal weight. That should be a little W. That should have been a weight there. BMI equals BMI, and BMI status equals BMI status. And again, because I'm a little squirrely here, I'm going to line all these up. All right, and that's it for that one. Now it's giving me an error. Let's see if we can figure out why. All right, so we've got public class, person concrete, all right, which is going to inherit from our base, which I called abstract, which is fine. Okay, we've got a constructor, public, that should be person concrete, not public person. All right, and as you can see now, all the errors have gone. Okay, there's no errors in here anymore. So I'm going to do a file, save all. And in fact, I don't probably have to do this yet, but I'm going to anyway. And that is, I'm going to close my person here. I'm going to go back to the iPerson, which was the first one I had, and I'm going to rebuild the solution. I'm hoping I don't get any errors from that file or any other file. Okay, that one worked. So iPerson looks done. Person abstract, let's see if we can rebuild that solution. So far, so good. Person concrete. You can see if we can build that solution. Okay, so all those are done. So all of our person ones are done. All right. So we did create one called IBMI calculator. All right. And that had this in there. I guess that's done already. So we should be able to build that one too. All right. And that worked. Well, this is a good start. All right. Now we need an abstract class for our BMI calculator. Since I call the other one person abstract, I'm going to create a new class that I'm going to call BMI abstract. All right, again, we don't need these. And just like we did with the person abstract, oops, where's that one? Person abstract. I'm going to just grab the comment. Oops. Yeah, that's okay. All right. So this is BMI abstract. I'm going to copy that comment in, and I'm going to say BMI abstract is an abstract class, and as such, it cannot be instantiated. I'm going to go back to the person abstract and do the same thing. Person abstract is an abstract class, and as such, it cannot be instantiated. Now, it's giving me an error, and this is back in second iteration PayGUI. I don't know why I keep getting these, but I do. I think I just have to go over here and add a reference. Again, the validation library, for whatever reason, isn't in there. It is now. The error should go away now. I should be able to close that now. All right. So we've got our person abstract that I just added some blank lines to, and hopefully now this is going to build okay. It did. All right, now we've got BMI abstract. So let's go and do that one. Protected const double min opt equals 18.5. Protected const double min over equals 25.0, and protected const double min obese equals 30.0. All right, let's line these up. And they're protected so that we are going to be able to use them in later versions. So public abstract double calculate BMI, and it will need a height and a weight. All right, calculate BMI. Oh, this has got to inherit from OOPBMI calculator. Okay, doesn't like that. Doesn't like either one of these. So let's see if we can figure out what it is. It says it does not implement interface member, get BMI status. Well, that's the one we're going to put in next. So public abstract string get BMI status double BMI. Okay, I might have named them something else. I don't know. So let's go into the BMI calculator. And they were called calculate BMI, int height, int weight, and get BMI status. So it's IBMI calculator. We should have already built that. The errors it's giving me are in our abstract file. They say they're both. Let's see. Public abstract double calculate BMI, int height, int weight, public abstract string, get BMI status, double BMI. And they're both saying it's abstract, but it's contained in a non-abstract file, because here I didn't say internal abstract class. Now all the errors are gone. All right, we need our concrete class. So let's put that in next. All right, let's save this one first. See if we can build this one. That's good. All right, so we've got our IBMI calculator and our BMI abstract. So we'll create a BMI concrete. Oops, know what happened there, but we're going to fix it right away. Let's see, where was the other one? There's that. Okay. Now we've got our concrete class. Now, this is BMI concrete. And it is going to inherit from BMI abstract. Okay, don't worry about that yet. We're getting that error because it's saying, hey, you got a couple functions in here, methods, that you have not created. So we're going to create those now. All right, so public override double calculate BMI, int height, int weight. I'm going to put these on 2 lines so you can see everything I'm doing here. All right, and we're getting an error now because we haven't written it yet. So that'll just be return 703.0 times the weight divided by height times height. Okay, so now that error is gone. Now we got to write the other one. So public override string, and that's get BMI status double BMI. All right, so if BMI is less than min OPT, return underweight, oops, else if BMI is less than min over, return optimal weight, else if BMI is less than min obese, return overweight, else return obese. Okay, this is just one way that this can be written. I'm not even going to say it's the only way. All right, we could have come in here and created a local variable like we did before. I see no reason we can't. This is how I wrote it, but we should be able to come in and say string status equals nothing. So here we'll say status equals, here we'll say status equals, here we'll say status equals, and here we'll say status equals, and then down at the very bottom we'll just return status. All right, what's an advantage of doing it that way? The only advantage that I can see is the fact that we only have one return statement. All right, so as these programs get more and more and more, harder and harder, etc., to work on, all right, then if you've got multiple return statements, there's just that much more possible. There's possibility of error. All right, so let's save that one. Let's see, I think we built all these, but let's just try it anyway. I'm going to get rid of the person concrete, and I'm going to keep my BMI ones here. So we've got this IBM. I think we already did this, but we're going to do it again anyway. So there's the interface file, built just fine. Here's the abstract one, built just fine. Here is the concrete one, and it also built just fine. All right, so we're down to our person repository. So we've got this iPerson repository. Did we write this yet? Yes, we did. So that one's already done. And that builds just fine. All right, and we're going to have this one we don't need an abstract class for. So we're going to create a person repository concrete. Kind of a long name. Okay, and again, try to grab, there's the BMI concrete. So we'll grab that comment again. Now we can get rid of that. All right. So in this concrete class, it's going to have kind of what we had before. So private read-only list iPerson people equals new. Don't know if it'll take this or not. No, it's not. All right. That's from a later version than what I'm working on. So I think I have to say list iPerson like that. And it should take that without any errors. And you can see that indeed it does. Okay. Now we need to, for lack of better words, start to run all the stuff that we've done before. Add it, public void, add, person, and people dot add. I want to add person. Doesn't like something. What did I call that up here? People. Shouldn't matter. Person. Doesn't matter what I call this. I can just call it P, but I'm going to get the same error. All right. To see if we can figure out what that problem is. Argument 1. Cannot convert from BMI lib O. I'll bet you, yes it is. All right, this is an internal class that is going to inherit from iConcrete, iPerson repository. Okay, now it's giving us errors. Let's hold off on that until we get going here. All right, take a quick gander at my notes here. That is right. Read-only list, person, people, yeah, got all that. Void add. That should be iPerson. That fixed that error. Again, we can just use P. We could use people too. It doesn't matter. We need a public list of iPerson. And that was called get people. Oops, I don't know why I'm getting all that. There we go. And that will return people. We have a public void clear. and that'll be people.clear. And we have our isEmpty implementation, which is public bool is empty, and that is, come on, people.count equals 0. Okay, so that is everything on there. So person repository, I think we already rebuilt it, but let's make sure. So build, rebuild solution. And build, rebuild solution. Okay, so we've got all that. So what's left is our actual console file, the main program here. And we are at 27 minutes. So let me come back and build that in the next and last, hopefully, part of this program. Be back soon.